Dang. What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40-year-old FUQ Boys podcast. I go by the name Black Pegasus.
And it's your boy, Don Wannabe, back in the house once again.
Now, have you heard of this music video? Have you seen this music video before?
It's been a minute. Since I remember like back in the 90s or whatever when the song came out, on it being on MTV or whatever, so I know I've like seen it, but it's been
Do you know what all this is about? This video?
No.
The reason I ask is because I'm just getting into Rage on the reaction channel, right? So I realized, because I've known the song, F you, we won't do what you tell, or F you, I won't do what you tell me. I believe that's Killing in the Name of, okay? That's the song. I don't know where I heard that, but I knew that. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, but I did a first reaction to Bulls on Parade and Down Rodeo. Right? Yeah. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that song is wild. I'm headed down Rodeo with a pocket full of shells.
No, that every song.
I keep like mixing them up.
Mix
right?
every song with Killing in the Name.
Yeah, it's Rowdy around the family with
yeah,
that's
okay. Bulls on Parade. Yeah. That's Bulls on Parade. Yeah. But Rodeo with a shotgun, and it's talking about you ain't seen a brown person since your grandparents bought one or something. Yeah. Anyways. What I was trying to get to here is I've never heard this song. I've never seen this music video, but I was talking to Wolf Johnson.
Yeah.
And he was like, he mentioned, yo, there's a video where they just set up like guerrilla style on Wall Street, and it caused like almost a riot, or like streets got shut down. And as we saw the beginning of this, I was like, oh, is this that video?
Yeah.
So anyways, we'll see. I don't know. But we about to get into this, you guys. Rage Against the Machine. As I'm learning about Rage a little bit. You know what I mean? You got what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, let's get it started. You guys like, share, comment, subscribe.
40-year-old boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. 40-year-old boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. 40-year-old FUQ Boys podcast. Malt liquor for your ears. 40.
All right, y'all, let me get this logo down and pull the video up. Don't forget to support the original content on the channel. Dropping music videos, vlogs, and a bunch of stuff. Trying to figure out some original content we can be consistent with and start releasing every Sunday. So tap in with us, and let's get into this, man. I'm going to bring this back to the very beginning. This looks kind of wild, you know, because some of the stuff they said on the songs I reacted to, I was like, okay, like some of it I'm like, I agree with it. Some of I might not, like, you know, politically, because I lean a certain way.
So I haven't listened to Rage in, years. Like, I honestly, like, I haven't listened to them probably like since the 90s.
Yeah.
Like I bought like this album and I saw them in concert live. Yeah. You know, my dad is anarchist. Yeah. So he was always running around with Che Guevara t-shirts, you know, and you know, they have a t-shirt. I just checked their website. They still sell on their website. That's Che Guevara's picture with Rage Against the Machine on it. So I always have that image associated in my mind.
So what I was going to get into with this was that, you know, they're on Wall Street, and this is called Sleep Now Into the Fire. So I'm just curious on what this is about, because fast forward, we had Occupy Wall Street, and it's funny, I feel like I'm more moderate in a sense, right? And like there's some things I see the left, some things I see with the right. Yeah. Cool, right? But when I look at some of this stuff, I'm like, the one thing I think a moderate always agrees with is like, yo, we don't need all these crazy wars. And some of the stuff that happened during the Occupy Wall Street, where people are losing their houses and stuff, and they're bailing out banks, was just not cool. Like, it just wasn't, you know? So it's just interesting to see both sides attack certain concepts.
desire. Jesus blessed me with his future, and I protect it with fire. So raise your fists and march around, just don't take what you need. I'll kill and bury those committed and smother the rest in greed. Crawl with me into tomorrow, I'll drag you to your grave. I'm deep inside your children, and betray you in my name. Hey, hey, we'll sleep now in the fire. Hey, hey, sleep now in the fire. Is my expense, the scope of my desire. The party blessed me with its future, and I protect it with fire. I am the leader, the Peter, the Santa Maria, the nuisance, the rapist, the fields overseer, the agents of orange, the priest of Hiroshima, the cost of my desire. Sleep now in the fire. Hey, hey, sleep now in the fire. Hey, hey.
I can't lie. This is one of the hardest music videos of all time,
Dude,
bro.
it's gangster. The whole like you know what is it? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Like with all the facts that they're dropping, and like when does it show when this video came out?
No, because I can look
Because
at
it
when
was
it's
reposted.
uploaded.
I mean, it's all good.
A lot because like if it doesn't say 20 some years, because they were
Yeah.
3 years ago, bro.
No,
On
I
their-
get that.
So it's just like because this came out when we were like teenagers or in our 20s, and we're
Yeah.
40 now.
That's why I'm trying to think of like when it came out. I guess the
I
point,
can look it up while
the
you're
more
talking.
it doesn't matter because what the more important point is to this music video is that they're protesting on Wall Street, right? They're talking about healthcare. They're talking about the top tier, you know, owning all the wealth. So these same issues that we are dealing with today.
1999.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same stuff. It's like nothing's changed. People still are talking about healthcare.
This is why I brought that up before we started, because Occupy Wall Street, wasn't that like 08-ish or
Yeah.
you know? So think about that. Like just think about
Yeah.
like how these cycles, but the craziest thing is when I listen to the messaging, right? I just wonder, it starts these complicated, complex thoughts because essentially I understand what they're arguing about.
Yes.
And what they're preaching about. And I agree somewhat.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, humans, since the beginning of time, this isn't just this era. It's like, you know, your gang is people are trying to conquer. Like, it's just like, where do we get this from? Like, you know, and it's almost like he's also saying that's embedded in us in a way. And I don't know. It's just interesting because it's like, yo, people been wilding, even with tribesmen, like, yo, I want this land. I want the river.
Yeah.
I
well,
want
he
your...
says like he has got that line in there about the Nina, the Santa Maria.
Yeah.
So you know
That
he's
was
talking
actually
about
hard wordplay too. The
yeah,
way he said it, I
exactly.
was
So
like,
he's talking
oh.
about like colonization and all this stuff, you know, and these conversations are so interesting, you know, as an adult, right? Because like I said, I haven't listened to this music since probably this album came out.
Yeah.
Really.
See, I've never
in the
heard this,
years,
so I'm getting hit
you
with
know,
a freight train.
after. But as I've like aged and my perspective has grown, you know, I start to hear it in a different way, right? It's like there's a quote that says, "No man walks through the same river twice, for he is not the same man.
Yeah.
He is not the same and it's not the same river." So it's interesting listening to this music now because like I have a different perspective. It's like tax the rich, right? The 1% own the majority of the wealth. You know, they need to pay their poor or their fair share of taxes. But I saw some like stat that says the top 1% pay 43% of the taxes.
I've seen some of that stuff.
And so it's wild to think like, yo, that 1% is like covering almost all the taxes. So there's these nuanced like perspectives about these like things. And the thing that kills me that I just wanted to touch on real quick, you know, I lost all respect for Rage once I found out that they were telling people that they had to get the, you know, to get
in
into their
2020.
concerts.
Yo,
You know,
they
I'm
were
like-
doing that in 2020, like the Foo Fighters.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
I knew the Foo Fighters were like, yeah, you have to get whatever the establishment says. You got to do.
So
That's
I'm like,
crazy if
how
they
are you
did
going
that.
to call yourself
I didn't know that.
Rage Against the Machine?
That is
And if
crazy.
I'm wrong, I apologize. But I could have swore, and it changed everything, right? Because when you're saying that, yo, I'm going to go shill for Big Pharma and that you can't come into our shows without doing that.
See, I didn't hear that. I don't
right?
know. I didn't know that.
And then the second thing is, right,
the
is
Foo Fighters did that, but I didn't know about
arguing against capitalism and oppression, right? They're arguing against capitalism and oppression. On their website right now, the first thing you see is a picture of Che Guevara, the great communist revolutionary that freed South America, right? And you're like, what are you doing? Why are you up on your phone? We're trying to record. And I was looking up this quote. And this is from Che Guevara saying that, you know, the blacks have managed to keep their racial purity mostly because of their lack of desire to take baths. And he's got another quote in here. This Che Guevara said this. Let me see.
So basically you're saying he was racist? Is that what you're insinuating here?
Yeah. Yeah. He also, you know, basically was anti-homosexual.
Oh,
right?
hold up,
right?
hold up, man. Hold up.
So
man. Where my rainbow flag, man? Where my rainbows at, man?
So right now, you know, yeah, there's a quote. Let me see.
You trying to cancel Rage, bro? The hell's wrong with you, man?
The black is an indolent and a dreamer, spending his meager wage on frivolity or drink. The European has a tradition of work and saving, which has pursued him as far as this corner of America and drives him to advance himself even independently of his own individual aspirations. So, I mean, what does that sound? This is Che Guevara, right? They're out here saying, oh, the people, oh, the colonizers, and they're selling a t-shirt from a dude who was dunking on homosexuals and black people and uplifting Europeans.
All right, you guys. Is there some context missing from Democrat Don? You guys have to let me know because I did not know those quotes. I've heard. See, this is the thing.
This is that champagne socialist bullshit.
I go back and forth, right? Like I'll watch the Young Turks, then I'll go watch Crowder.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, yo, I'm trying to figure it out because sometimes you'll go too far on either side. So I'm like, okay, let me just try to pick little things here and there, right?
But
I've heard stuff like Crowder goes crazy on Che, but I was like, is this real? You know what I'm saying? And then I was just like, every rapper when I was growing up wore a Che Guevara shirt. And my friends, Felipe still wears one.
This is what I'm saying. Oh, yeah. And let me just say this, right? Yeah. Because this is worth mentioning as well. He referred to Mexicans as illiterate Indians. So, you know what I mean?
Damn.
So he's firing shots all over at everybody and uplifting Europeans, and this is who you got a shirt on. Talking about colonizers.
What was Che? What was it? What was he? What was he?
I don't know. I think he was. Yeah, that's a good question.
Because if he's talking about everyone, I'm like, yo, well then he must not be that, right?
Yeah. I
always thought he was I thought he was Latin. I don't even know.
Me too.
I was like, why do I think like Peru-esque, but
he was from Argentina.
Okay, Argentina.
Oh Lord!
Why are you laughing?
Because that's where all the, people went after World War II. All the Germans. Established.
I've heard of this.
Colonies.
I've heard of this.
So maybe that's why he was feeling a little superiority complex. You know.
All right, let's get into this, man. We went off the rails. Jeez.
The song's still a banger.
Hey, the video is mad rebellious. Like, I'm like, why weren't they like this? They should have been like this at March Against the Mandates. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro,
I mean, the
you're
homie's
free.
Got a CCP shirt on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's clown world in my opinion.
Like, take your ass to Russia.
Take your ass to China, homie.
You know?
And try to perform this.
And try to do this in China. Yeah, go do this in Tiananmen Square. Go do this in Tiananmen Square.
Yeah. There's a balance because I actually have been liking Rage and I like some of the things they say, but there is this. That's crazy. I didn't even see that. Oh my, that's wild. Look, I like the colors, man. I like yellow. It's my favorite
with the
color.
tats. I mean,
he does look like a G.
It's caged and frozen still. There is no other pill to take. So swallow the one that made you ill. La Santa Maria, the Lucid, the rapist, the fields overseer, the ages of orange, the priest of Hiroshima, the cost of my desire to see
This is hard. This is a hard video, though.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, the song is amazing.
This is how I felt in 2020, but I was the bad guy.
Yeah.
This is so gangster.
A band called The Machine Rages On, or Rage Against the Machine. That band is anti-family and it's pro-terrorist.
That's right-wing media going too far. I get it.
I mean,
I get it, man. I seen I don't know if you. Like, one of them's wearing a hat that just says commie. It's just wild. They're wild. But I like the energy because essentially this is what's crazy. If you strip down the antics or like if you strip it down, America was started by rebellious MFers just like that.
Yes.
And people always tend to forget that. I'm not going to take away from Rage's message. Cool. See, a lot of times the human spirit wants to get.
What is the message? That's where I'm saying.
I mean, essentially, from what I'm feeling, is they want more. It's about humanity, not they're like, yo, you spend all this money while people are dying, aren't eting, are poor. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is the human spirit is trying to get to a certain destination, but a lot of times we're like, oh, we can get there with capitalism. Capitalism has helped more people than it hurt, right? Some people could argue that capitalism hurt less people than communism, and they could prove it on paper. But all I'm saying is with all of that rhetoric thrown out the window, we want to get to a certain destination. I think the biggest percentage of people want some type of peace. They want freedom. And they
prosperity. We want, in the wealthiest country in the world, things like healthcare, it's a shame when these things aren't provided for. So no, I agree. And I was watching that, section where they had the little puppets and you had Bush and you had Cheney and you had Gore there. And I'm like, yo, that's real.
Yeah, that's
we're
real.
Getting it from both sides.
Yes.
The problem that I have is like when you got CCP shirts on and you're selling, Che Guevara shirts talking about, socialism. It's like you're uplifting. What's your message when you're uplifting racist homophobes, right? And making money off of selling their image on a t-shirt. So that's where I'm just like, yo, with these ideologies and these conversations, it's like, don't do the surface level. Oh, America bad. Tear it down. It's like actually know your history and what it is that you're uplifting.
Yeah. Because
a lot of people just, have this idea of what socialism or communism is. And they're putting these images of literal, mass murders and racists on their shirt. Like, yay.
Yeah,
That's what's wild to me.
I don't know enough. I'm sure it would be fun to see, like, I've always wanted to see like a panel with Rage Against the Machine and Immortal Technique, or people who are really versed in that, and then have a conversation, not a battle, a conversation with like Steven Crowder and these other people, and see where it leaves. Because there's a lot of times where I get surprised, where I start gravitating to, like, let's say a right-wing talking point, and then someone kind of obliterates it in a conversation. I'm like, oh, now I see the nuance there. And vice versa. I've seen that from the left as well. So anyways, you guys, let us know what you think. Rage got us going. Like, share, comment, subscribe. 40.
Thank you for being some man. 40 years down the road, back again. FUQ, boy.